Hello and welcome back to Talk with Coach. I'm your host, Becca Goldsberry, elite sales and leadership coach with Southwestern Consulting. The podcast is all about learning from the best in the business, those who have walked the walk and are ready to share their journeys, lessons, and hard earned wisdom. We are about to discover some invaluable tips today that can transform your business or leadership journey. So buckle up and get ready for another episode of Talk with Coach. I am excited today to introduce our guest, Ashton Wischmeier. We have been friends for a very long time, and I was trying to think about it, Ashton. I think we've known each other for almost 10 years, uh, maybe a little bit earlier than that, because I started BNI in 2013. So it could go almost as I don't know. I lost track of how long we've been friends. But Ashton and I have gotten to know each other very well. I consider him a good friend, and we love just to connect, and we help each other pass business, grow business. We talk about bourbon, we talk about beer, you know, and the conversations that we have are always fun. What I love most about Ashton is his curiosity for all things fun and cool. And I love Ashton's wisdom and insights on all things real estate, especially here in the Indiana market. So, Ashton, welcome to Talk with Coach.
No, thanks for having me, Becca. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Okay, so you and we could start on so many different topics, but I think the big one that I keep hearing all the time right now, and it's interesting, even as our family, right? There are so many things going on in the real estate world, you know, like buyers think it's still 2019, sellers are thinking it's 2022 with the crazy inflation. And all the agents, they have different opinions about pricing right now. And it's all leading to this current volume of listings that with fewer sales. So I would love your insight of what's happening in the market and kind of what you guys are seeing with the Wischmeier Group.
Yeah, it's definitely an odd market right now. You have two completely opposite parties with different interests in obviously a buyer wants to pay the least amount for a house and a seller wants the most value out of their house. And it's kind of just helping clients right now navigate where is that middle. It's not happening successfully every time, but it is happening. We're definitely starting to see buyers come back out. Interest rates are not as bad historically as what they've been. That we're just really starting to see it open back up. So I'm hoping we're going to see some more buyers once we get through back to school here. And we're definitely sending more people who are asking about houses to get a pre-approval. Always an important first step for a seller to take you seriously. But really, I think it's going to come down to the next couple of months and starting to see where appraisals come in how are appraisers and some of the banks valuing these houses. So unfortunately, we do have some people who are negative on their mortgages. They bought a house that's not worth what it was a couple of years ago. And then you also, though, have a group who bought a decade or more ago now selling. And it's not all new home buyers or growing families. Sometimes it's a retiree who's looking to downsize. So you get all these competing groups in the market right now. It's at least in central Indiana, it's not necessarily leading to massive reductions in housing market because a starter home could work for a retiree as much as it could for a new family.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, I know like in our neighborhood, Michael and we were driving around because all of a sudden we noticed like 7, 8 new houses like up for sale, like in like a week. And I'm like, okay, so things are shifting, right? And then you go and my, mom and stepdad are potentially looking to move towards the Seymour area and they can't find anything that they want. So I really think it just depends on where you are and what the market is for the city you actually live in. I think there's too big of a wide of a range just to categorize every city the same, you know?
Yeah, and this has been going on for years, but obviously based out of Columbus, and we are seeing it year over year exponentially. Of we very much so are more of a suburb of Indianapolis than ever before. Driving to a Fever game and WNBA All Star game, it's more warehouses and businesses opening along I-65 than not. That used to be all cornfields. And I think that really is changing it of people are more comfortable with a 45-minute commute. I know we're starting to hear more back to office mandates or I think a lot of the larger companies in the area are giving everybody back to school, but then it's 3 days are mandatory now. And come first of the year, we're hearing at least 4, if not 5 days, that's just driving yet again more changes of are people buying what their family needs versus their commuting happiness. I mean, personally, I love where I live in Columbus. I know it's the city's slogan right now, but love where you live. But we're close to everything, and that's why I live where I live. Is my commute. That's an extra hour a day I get with my children.
Absolutely. Well, I was going to say those of us who live on the south side of Indy have it so much easier than the Westville, Carmel, Noblesville, Fishers, Zionsville side, north side of Indy because of traffic. So I think you're absolutely right. I think everybody's got to take in consideration what's going to make them happy and how long do they want to sit in traffic. Um, because I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about what areas are really booming in central Indiana, and it's amazing what's going to be coming about in the next 5-10 years, and some of these what were cornfields that are not going to be cornfields anymore.
Yes, and we're hearing it from other industries, insurance, mortgage, who are planning for next year and the following year of where growth is going to happen. And it's all these spider veins off of Indianapolis, easily over a half dozen cities. I don't think as great as Columbus, but within that 45-minute commute to downtown Indy.
Yeah,
I think that's becoming huge for people.
I think so too. So Ashton, share just a little bit about, how you guys all got I know your mom and dad's been in the real estate industry for a very long time, but how did you decide, all right, I'm gonna hop into the real estate world. I know a little bit about the story, but nobody else really does. So kind of share how you got back into the real estate world.
Yeah, I think you were mentioning when you and I met, and I think it was 2013.
I think so too.
I think I was brand new at Farmers Insurance back then. But no, it obviously, my journey through insurance and growing up. I think my father got his real estate license in, like 2004, and was at a major brokerage in the area. And so I kind of grew up as a teenager watching that. And then through college, of just kind of seeing, okay, here's what he did to be successful with it. And when my time in insurance came to an end in, what was that, 2018, I think? So I was very fortunate to go be a stay-at-home dad and go finish up my MBA. That when the time came and I got a phone call about being partners with my family on buying a multi-unit franchise, that was kind of okay. I've seen how outside industries work with real estate, and they inversely had seen how real estate works with outside industries. That we really felt we could create something better for the client and the agents. So we spent she's 5 years doing that before we made the transition with our team over to EXP. And I'm mostly on the commercial side. My brother runs everything on our residential side, but we do fully tag team to where we both know everything going on so that our clients and agents always have somebody there to answer. That there's always somebody on call who knows exactly what needs to be done for what client.
That's amazing. And you guys do run a well-oiled machine for your clients because you and Zane are so much in sync of what's happening. It's pretty awesome to watch from the sidelines. So, over the years, from all the years of experience, whether it's insurance, real estate, what was the most powerful lesson that you learned about growing up and sustaining a successful business?
I think it comes down to having a very strong core that you can pivot the other aspects of your business. We see it a lot of either somebody focusing too much on the social media or on, I think we've been there. If you put too much money into the behemoths like Zillow, and are you working for yourself or against yourself or just following what seems to work and not understanding why? Very heavily every 30 days and at worst 45 are monitoring the ROI on all of our sources. And it's kind of like changing from my family was at a major franchise to owning multiple franchises to going to EXP, which we don't own it. We own In Homes Today and the Wischmeier Group, but it's there as a backbone to support our agents. That it's kind of just, we got back to knowing what business we were in. I think, grew our franchise to 60 realtors over a couple of years. And it was great and rewarding to help so many people. But we more or less got away from ourselves.
Mm,
And now, I mean, we couldn't be happier. It's having that strong core. I mean, it just let us stay in business. And more importantly, last year with the new laws coming out from all the real estate lawsuits, and then even more so with the economy now, those are two major shifts. And I don't feel like we had to change that much to maintain the level of service to our clients and to our agents, that we had that support pillar there.
that's a good point. And, if I get to sum it up in 2 words, business flexibility. Right? You guys you've done an amazing job being able to pivot to what works and from maybe what doesn't. It may have worked at the time, but then you guys have done a really amazing job at pivoting to, all right, now we got to find something that's going to work for now, right? And I think in the real estate market, it's one of those industries that you have to keep pivoting and keep changing because the market always changes. You can't do the same thing every year expecting new results, right? If you're not changing, it's that whole definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over again for decades. And I've seen so many realtors do the same thing over and over again for 20, 30, 40 years while they've been in business, and they won't change it up to keep growing and keep pivoting.
Yes, it's the don't be complacent of, I mean, we saw so many new licensees throughout COVID that you could walk in and sell a house and probably 10. And now it's coming back to that, always maintain your network. It's kind of like you and I chat even personally, professionally. It's, you never know what you don't know and that somebody else does know. And I think in today's market, that's invaluable. It's, I mean, you never know when you're going to stumble on the next Zillow and you're the first one in, but odds of that happening year after year after year are slim. And so it's multiple sources. I know, what was it, back 2013, 14, it was needed 5 stable sources of leads.
Yeah. Yes. And you still kind of have to have that, different nets that you're casting in at all times too, right? I mean, but sometimes those have to change too. And social media is just a prime example of that too. But you can't put all your eggs in the social media basket either.
No, it's, and that's kind of where, like, even for digital ads, we've pivoted to, I think we have 5 or 6 different options all on the same platform, but it's, we've heavily over the last easily quarter here pivoted over to, ironically, the cheapest option, because the expensive option that worked for the last 18 months, I think we were down 20% on lead volume, but the other option was significantly up.
Okay.
But it's more manual. I'll say it takes me an hour for what I could do in 15 minutes, but is the return there? So,
It's got to be the ROI, right?
mhm.
Are the
Yeah,
even not more than just the ROI, but the ROTI, the return on time invested as well. So you
yes,
gotta have both.
yes. Yeah, and that's where, like, making the changes we've made over the last several years, of we've always maintained our networks, but it's, as you know, we're big outdoor people. We love to go hike, ride our bikes, run. I'm fortunate to be able to give back and help with the Millrace Marathon, coach cross country and soccer. And it's, for me, I would rather spend an hour coaching every night and meeting families and building relationships than I would on my computer hitting go on Facebook.
Amen. Yeah. Somebody asked me actually, I think it was my husband. He was looking at my schedule, a couple weeks ago, and he goes, "Are you home at all this week?" And I'm like, "No, I really don't think so because I think I had like 8 coffee meetings with people. I had other things, other networking things I was out and about." And I go, "But you know what? That is the best place to build relationships, to gather referrals, right? To get those warm introductions to people because they're going to like you and trust you because you're a friend of a friend, right?" And no, I don't think enough salespeople actually do that. I'm not saying cold calling is bad, but not a lot of people like to cold call, and not every industry doesn't work as well. So I'm all about building. I'm like you. I like to be out and about. I like to be having my coffees and, my bourbons with everybody and lunch and hanging out. But to me, it's I get more business that way than just sitting at my desk and beating my head waiting for people to pick up the phone when they're not going to pick up the phone.
No, I mean, today's a great example. I had two what I thought were kind of warm referrals, but I haven't gotten a call back from either. Called both before 10 a.m. and had coffee at 9 at a local shop. And I think I had two conversations outside of that, just people passing by. Hey, can you call me next week? And so, no, completely. That's a complete anomaly. Always a
Right.
lot of hellos, but I think that's today's market. I mean, I'm seeing a lot more on the commercial side than residential, but it's not always a business looking to grow or expand. I mean, we have one professional office looking to, instead of remodeling, they would rather just buy a new building and sell theirs. And just like that, though, we also have a retiree. And then you have all of these new, from even just government changes. There's a lot of talk about cuts, but there's also some new pieces because of that being added in our area. And so it's been interesting to me, the relationships are more valuable because there's an absolute on the commercial front lack of listings,
Mm,
especially of what people want to lease or purchase. Or if it is available, it could be exponentially overpriced. I mean, I know Indianapolis is seeing it as well of government versus private equity, even money, and everybody has a different value on what they think their ROI needs to be. And some people or entities are able to play a 10-year game on a lease, and some individuals, they need that ROI to float that property here within a year.
mm-hmm. And then you've also got people then who also are looking for 1031 exchanges, and it's hard to find those matches sometimes right now.
Yes. Yeah, those are definitely difficult. The value of having a network, I think. I know a lot of realtors try to be very secretive and competitive on everything. I firmly, when I have something that nothing exists, I'm calling my competitors. We've got to find something. I do love that part of transparency with all of the new laws of the buyer exclusive form of disclosing and just that relationship that my client understands I'm actually there to work for them.
Hmm.
And I mean, as a realtor, I'm not panicked over paycheck because we disclosed. That I'm not afraid to make phone calls for my clients of what doesn't exist that somebody might know of.
Well, I think that's where anybody's, networks, circle of influence, COI, whatever you want to call it, like you have to lean on your circle because you don't know who everybody or what everybody else knows either. So the more you get the word spread out, the more opportunities you're going to be able to find too.
Oh, I know you and I talked about rural farmland that doesn't exist but might.
Correct. Yes. We talk about that a lot, between you and I all the time. Uh, so we know business is never smooth sailing. What's one of the biggest challenges that you faced, Ashton, and how'd you overcome it?
No, I think there's two, but they're the exact same thing at different times in my life, and it's change.
Mm,
It's leadership and change. I mean, I sold an insurance agency and moved a team over to a bank. And some employees love the small business vibe and some embrace the bank aspect. And I know that was a big challenge because you're simultaneously trying to maintain and continue to grow business. And secondly, changing brokerages. I mean, going from complete control, owning a franchise with multiple locations down to one office with maintaining the agent relationships, but not just helping yourself move, helping everyone else make that change as well. Just leadership through that of the uncertainty of different systems, what's the same but used in a different way, while still trying to navigate a changing market and keeping on top of your game. To me, that was probably the most difficult. Because anytime in real estate, somebody makes a move, there's always the gossip and rumor mill running, and the truth is always somewhere in the middle of happy to say we were able to control our own destiny with it all. But to me, just the time management and ability to compartmentalize, I guess, of here's our paperwork. Effectively, all these times, the challenge was juggling two separate businesses, even though one is closed.
mm,
And I think if it was an individual realtor moving companies, there is that true support structure there to help them move. And I will say where we're at now was unbelievably awesome to work with. I would do it all over again. I wish we probably had trusted more. It probably would have been even smoother, but it's definitely strategically having to move a team and a large team at that while juggling change of marketing, you're reinventing a business all over again. Yet again, the core is solid. but everything else was rebuilt.
Yes, it was. Because I think we were texting probably at least once or twice a week there for a few months,
Yes.
and there was always something new, something else was happening or needed to happen, or things were getting changed and updated. So I know that was a stressful time, but a very exciting time for all you guys.
Yeah.
But I know you guys are happier at where you're at now.
Yes. I know you and I've been talking the last couple weeks of a few others kind of different boats, but making changes on their careers. And it doesn't matter how big, small, it is stressful, but it's, what's the quote? There's privilege and pressure.
Yes. Yeah. But real estate, mortgage, I mean, there's people are always changing companies all the time, right? And I think sometimes that's a downfall because everybody's like, "Well, where'd you move to?" Right? Like, where'd they go? Right? And then they gotta, Google and try to figure out where they went. And I know that's hard because especially if you've been somewhere for a while, because you guys were at the other two
Mhm.
brokerages for a long time. Like, I know that's always a challenge just to keep everybody ahead of, hey, we made a move, still same numbers, you could still find us in Columbus, right? Like there always is those challenges, when you guys make a move like that.
Yeah, I think it's just clear communication.
Mhm.
It's people will only listen as much as you can put it out there. And that's both with agent management and with clients. But I mean, it's clear communication. We've all had it where realtor, lender, you send somebody a referral somewhere and they're not there.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of what makes a move so stressful is to truly do it right. You have to be running two companies. You're still marketing what you were, but you're communicating to everybody, hey, this is us now. And there's that transition period. I know a restaurant going through the exact same thing right now. It's slight name change, but very similar, but they're still having to market their old while trying to get everybody over to the new.
Mm,
And so I think it's not something industry specific. It really is you move locations. It could be a nail salon. It could be
that's right.
a tattoo parlor I just worked with that going through a name change, but trying to maintain a very large clientele list.
Well, I was gonna say my favorite coffee shop. They literally moved 2 blocks away, and everybody's waiting on the new furniture so we can actually go and sit at the new spot, right? But what do you do for that month while you're waiting for your favorite coffee shop? You know, as they're moving. So I totally agree. It's everywhere. It's every industry.
Mhm. No,
So,
I mean, I just talked to, ironically, a coffee roaster and also a brewery in the last week that both are going to have to shut down for 2 weeks on one and I think a month on another for new equipment and to change locations.
um,
And it's like, anytime I'm talking to somebody like that, it makes my problem sound very simple because I'm not dealing with inventory logistics and staffing like that.
yeah, gotta love all those small business owners who you guys deal with this all the time. So Ashton and I are with you on that for sure. So speaking of, how do you approach difficult decisions and problem solving, in your business? And then are there frameworks, tips that help guide you as you're coming up through some of this?
I mean, I think on our side, a lot of that comes down to communication and education. It's not everybody, yet again, has that strong pillar in their corner of I'm very fortunate. One, I have a very experienced team. Outside of that team, I have even more individuals I know I can lean on. And then outside of that, I have a structure like you and several others that you know that I can always reach out to. And I think that is something that not everybody has because approaching difficult problems with what we deal with, 99% are either two differing opinions. And that's just how can we help people meet in the middle? Or is it contractual? Like, is it actually something that we had on an offer a week or two ago of what they were asking for was actually not something that can legally be addressed in that portion of the contract.
Mm,
So then it came down to trying not to fight with another party, but to educate. Sometimes that goes well, and sometimes it gets thrown back in your face. But I think first and foremost that. And secondly, though, it goes back to what I was saying about having a very strong group with us. I do think it's important to have a realtor who is relevant in today's market, whether it's commercial, residential. It's great if they've sold 100 homes in their lifetime, but when was that? And where? I mean, I'm not going to say a neighborhood here, but we do have a neighborhood in Columbus with a massive price disparity. And it's going back to the start of this conversation of what is the realtor advising in the middle and what client, like where's their mindset on pricing that home? That I mean, we're seeing virtually identical homes with $50,000 and $70,000 price differences in the same neighborhood. So it's a bit odd right now, but it's yet again having your group of, I know if we're pricing something, I have 3 other individuals that I can infallibly text and get the truth somewhere in the middle. Get 3 or 4 opinions. They're probably going to differ by 20,000, but the truth somewhere in the middle. And on commercial right now is the biggest, I think, challenge. Um, and you have clients thinking stuff's worth X, Y, or Z. And in Columbus, we have office space leasing all the way from, I think, $8 a square foot for small units, all the way up to $25 a square foot. Historically, it's been $10 to $12 a square foot a year has been kind of our norm. And we're starting to see that tick up, but it's how far up. And it's coming back to how many businesses have you helped this year? And where did those negotiations end up? That obviously a lot of that's not public record of where's your lease rate. So that those I think we just resolve mostly with clear communication.
I love it. If people are just more concise in their communication, whether it's professionally or personally, I think half of the world's problems would be solved instantaneously.
Yes, a little bit of context with some communication would be great every once in a while.
It'd be really helpful, wouldn't it?
I mean, I had a I don't know if it was a parent or who at a soccer practice last night that literally was an hour off on time because of communication and mistyped a field number. It happens in all aspects of life.
Absolutely. Speaking of field, let's talk about like personal work life stuff, right? Like taking care of yourself to be able to take care of others. Such an important aspect of life for you and your family.
Yes. Yeah, that's to me that's huge, and that's even more why I'm grateful of where we're at. Very fortunate I grew up in the Columbus Running Club community. And I played several other sports, but that's part of what I love where we're at now. I know through EXP and that side of the company that we have such a strong support network that when I do miss something, they're there messaging immediately of, hey, where's this at? And it's a quick, oh, yep, here we go. Or that I know, like between Zane and I, we tag team heavily, that when it's his time to go have some fun, he's able to do that knowing business is taken care of. And it's like right now, I know I'm going to be leaning on him heavily through probably October 1st, that this job, beyond blessed, gives me the time to go volunteer at school with my kids. It's kind of like yours. Mine are young and they're in everything.
Everything. Yes.
So it's unfortunate. It lets me be an assistant coach at our kids' elementary school for cross country 2 days a week. I help run and organize everything for the Norris Marathon's kids run, which I don't remember how many hundreds of kids. It was, I think, almost 1,000 last year. It's insane.
That's getting so big. I remember growing up, it was not that big. There was maybe 100, 200 kids, maybe.
Oh yeah, no, we're seeing double that from one school now. Like it's insane.
So cool.
It's so much fun, except for the almost tornado last year. But
You know, there's its ups and downs depending on the
yeah,
year.
no, that was crazy. But no, between that and coaching soccer, it's like for the next 8 weeks, I'm literally every night of the week almost in a kid's sport. And it, my wife's a teacher at a different school, can't quite take off in the middle of the day for some field trips. But this really lets me give back in that way. That to me, that's just so much fun.
Yes. Well, and you guys do so many cool things as a family too. Like I know your dad still, you guys all bike, long distance, and
Yes.
you guys do so many cool trips, with those kind of things. I love how you guys always have a great, professional and home life balance, doing the things that you guys love to do, but still kicking butt and being very successful at what you guys do. That's amazing. That's fun. That's cool.
It's a blast. I mean, I'm very fortunate. Yes, my kids know cartoons, but if I give them an option, they will always say yes to a Pacers game. So it's a blast. We get to do something we want to do and we can include them is a blast. And it's, I mean, I know I posted a photo, I think you'd comment on, of IMS this year, of the kids on the track. And it's like, I got to do that as a kid. So it's really fun. I mean, how many years later now to be able to share that with my kids?
I know. So last night the Colts game was on, like the preseason game with Baltimore. I don't want to discuss like how bad or if not, that's a whole different conversation. Since Dad's been two, we have always had season tickets. So I just think it's so fun that, I never got a chance to do that growing up, but that now living here, south of, takes me 15 minutes just downtown to the parking lot. Like to me, that's fun. That's cool. Dad loves it. Like he is super hyped, you know, for the whole season. Like, I mean, like he is pumped, like so pumped that we're heading to practice on Sunday, for the Give Back Sunday practice. I mean, to me, I mean, you gotta have like people, we have to have balance in life. We gotta do the fun things that we love with our family, with our friends, with our kids. Like, we just can't be working all the time, 70 hours a week, and think that's okay because it's really not. You gotta have some balance there.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, to me, it's that balance of sometimes your hobby is work. It's like giving back with the marathon.
Yeah.
It's a blast. I can give back in other ways, but to me, I love doing it. I like to think I'm competent at it. And I run. So why not turn running into a network? It's a lot more fun to run with people than it is alone. Same with riding bikes, or, I mean, we don't always go with a friend, but it's like we're going to a game. And I'm not going to take our youngest to a Colts game yet, but our oldest got to go to one last year. It, to me, one, it's fun. I want to go. And two, that's a great space where the kids can get their yelling out and cheer as loud as they want. And
Yes.
the pace of play is not terrible.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, just, I think sports are just good for kids.
Oh, and it doesn't have to be driving out to Indy. I mean, yes, we go to our share of Indian games. We went to a lot of Pacers games this year and last year, but we go to a ton of Indy 11 games. And then, like, I'm loving all of the new sports in Columbus.
Yes, you guys have a lot.
Oh, it's like IU has soccer. The first club team down here in Columbus, the first player just went pro last year and he signed with Indy 11. So, like, locally, they've been branching out down here now, which is just awesome with all the kids' events. And then we just got the Sentinels. I think the first game's in October, but a like second division minor league hockey team for professionals.
Fun.
Yeah, so like I'm really excited to not have to drive an hour and a half up to Fishers.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to drive on 465 anyways?
It's Mario Kart.
That's right. That's exactly it. Exactly it. You never know who's going to crash into you as well. So, yeah.
Yes.
So, okay. So we know the real estate market, interest rates, they're always fluctuating. Where do you see the industry evolving? I don't know, say like the next 5, 10 years. What do you think potentially? I'm not holding you to it. We're not holding Ashton to it, but where
I
do you
wish I had a crystal ball.
and I we'd be billionaires, trillionaires if we had a crystal ball to ask that,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I think we're going to continue to see like more of a pivot to what I would consider normalcy.
Okay.
I mean, if you look back, it's always been cyclical. We have a boom and a bust. I'm really hoping we don't completely bottom out. That everybody, like we discussed earlier, you have individuals who own homes thinking they're worth a lot more than they might be, and individuals wanting to buy homes wanting value. And we never even mentioned that you have all of these massive conglomerates trying to buy rental homes. That we are starting to see that heavily in our market. All of those factors, I don't see prices continuing to just bottom out, but I'm hoping that a little more retraction and just a semblance of, I hate to say normalcy, but getting back to a true fair price that inflation is maintained, and we're not going to see back 2022 with COVID of just people panicking and saying, I'm hate being locked in an apartment. I want a house. And I mean, I just met with an individual this morning They bought a 15 acres and 6-bedroom house with a swimming pool and a toy barn. And here they are a couple years later, heavily regretting it. They need that space for their kids, but they're just tired of maintaining it. They're having to go back to work and they can't find time to mow. And pool costs have gone up. So we're seeing it everywhere it's just where does that middle hit?
Mm, that's good food for thought, right? Because you're right. Because I know what we paid when we built the house in 2018, and what 2022 told us our house was worth, and I was like, that cannot be so. You cannot double. Like it's just not. That was not sustainable for anybody. I don't care. So I'm glad to see where it is heading back to a more normal. Yes, the prices, you know, have increased, which is good, but it was absolutely crazy
Hmm.
a couple
No,
years.
it's changing so rapidly that we're going from even February and March listing homes and telling people, yes, you do need to expect offers in the next week, to now perfect houses that, I love a couple of them, but they're sitting for 30, 40. And I know I showed one the other day that it's sat, I think 65 or 70 days now. And it's a perfect house, like nothing crazy.
Is it because of the interest rates? What do you think?
I think it's that combination. I think it's back to school. I personally purposely took a vacation over July 4th. Uh, Um, it, I mean, that's a really slow time of the year typically. For that 1 week period, you can get a free 3-day weekend out of it. But it's almost like between then we had that couple of weeks of busy, but now everybody's starting to go back. I know Cummins is starting to order January 1st. Um, and we're hearing from friends, past clients, that it's like, I haven't been in the office in 3 years. What does an office look like?
Right?
So it's going to be interesting here where it ends up. You did have, I think, for several large companies that went through layoffs last year, you're starting to see the funds they paid out starting to expire.
Hmm.
So I don't think economically, especially Franklin down or Greenwood, even through Columbus and Seymour, we've seen who found another job, who's relocating, and who is financially strained. That I think those factors are going to continue to impact for the rest of the year.
Yeah. So, all right, one last question for you. If you had to boil everything down, Ashton, what are the top three pieces of advice that you would give to anyone looking to either grow their business or be a better leader and grow their leadership skills?
Number one, always be listening. And when you don't know it, ask. I know you're on my short list of texts, and that doesn't matter if it's a piece of business advice, software that you're using or thinking about using, or a person. Two, I think you have to know what business you're in. I approach real estate as a byproduct of we're in the people business. It's having that network and piecing that puzzle together for people and doing it well. I think is the middle piece between starting with a network and knowing what business you're in and actually making your income, which for us comes from property sales. That I could say I want to sell a piece of land all I want, but if you don't have somebody wanting to sell and use you, that's useless.
Mm,
And I think third is definitely what we started talking about. Have that strong pillar, have that core of no matter what, your business will not disappear on you. I could lose Facebook today, I could lose Google, and I know we're still going to be in business. And yet again, same with I hope my CRM doesn't disappear on my calendar, but same piece. I'm not relying on either of those for business at the end of the day.
yep. I love that. Those are three strong, really strong keys. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Such great advice for everybody. Ashton, thank you for hopping on, my friend. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, words of advice, and all the things that you guys have gone to. I am excited to see where you guys go for your business and because I know you guys have great things ahead of you. So just thank you for taking time to be on Talk with Coach with me, bud.
No, thanks, Beck. It was awesome. Hope to
Absolutely.
come back hopefully sometime here soon.
Yes, absolutely. Would love to have you anytime. Everybody, this wraps up another insightful episode of Talk with Coach. A huge thank you to Ashton Wischmeier with EXP for sharing such valuable knowledge and lessons from his incredible journey. If today's episode resonated with you, or if you have any burning questions or a topic you like for us to discuss in the future, I'd love to hear from you. Please make sure you subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Until next time, remember, every step forward is part of your success story. Keep striving for greatness, keep learning, and don't forget, your journey is just beginning.